What's going on? Welcome to today's trade recap of the day. Today is January 14th, Wednesday, 2026. I'm going to be going over today's price action. The one trade I'm taking today, I made $16,000 on the day. So let's get into this. All right, super textbook trade. Slowly getting my get back on the month. Yesterday, bro, was such a brutal break even, as you guys saw on the Instagram stories, man. Just absolutely brutal. And I know so many people took that. But anyways, we're getting my get back on the month. Price action is definitely cleaning up though. Like today was beautiful continuation short. So let's show you guys. Really nice. Took this just for a little 1-to-1 RR. And yeah, let's get into it. All right. So first things first, the P&L ski. Here it is, and I'm making 16.6K, about $580 across my 28 accounts. So nice, very nice. Now let's get into the trade. Okay, I took this with 4 M&Qs here. Let's start off with a bias. All right, let's start off with what the overnight session's doing, right? That's what I'm looking at coming into the day. So coming into the day, what do I clearly see? Okay, if we just first start off at what overnight's doing, and we can talk a little bit about yesterday. We have draws on liquidity here. Now, I know a lot of people are like, why are you not bullish towards these draws? We can have draws on liquidity, guys, but that doesn't mean that the market is going to that. Okay, that's like a very important lesson that you guys have probably gotten from all these trade recaps I'm doing. But just because there is a draw on liquidity, and honestly, like I was looking at the charts at like 10 p.m. last night, whenever, and I was like, dude, the longs to this data high is going to be so beautiful. And then I opened the charts today, and I clearly see that we are just not going to the data highs. We are not going to these relative equal highs that we left yesterday, right? And we are clearly just respecting bearish, as you can see here. London session respected bearish, and we are disrespecting bullish. The 4-hour closed through. We got a 4-hour closure. And what do we have below? All this LRL. What do we have below? This new day opening gap. Remember this new week opening gap that we had from January 4th from last week, right? So we still left all these draws. We have this unmitigated gaps here, all this LRL, right? And London session is also telling us that this is a London manipulation and then a New York continuation model. So you can tell whether or not New York will reverse or continue in its trend, and you just pay attention to what London session is doing, right? So if London session traded into a hourly for value gap or a 4-hour for value gap, and we respected it and started trading lower, you can expect London highs here to not get traded back to and for it to continue in its direction, okay? So that's what I want you guys to note on how I'm able to get like whether or not I'm trading against the trend or I'm trading with the trend, right? So it's really simple as that. And as long as we still haven't completed the sell model, this high will be protected, and we still haven't completed the sell model, right? We're still in its bearish trend, targeting all of this LRL. So I really did want shorts at open. Unfortunately, there wasn't anything. There was a short right here, but it was B plus at best. We ended up having, this 1-hour for value gap right here. We respected it, trade lower. Cool, that's fine. I then want to see this gap here get respected. I honestly would have taken this short if this gap got respected. But this gap ended up getting disrespected here. As you can see, we end up closing through it. And at that time, I'm like, okay, I don't really love this. Then we started trading lower. At this point, I didn't love the price action. I also didn't love this close. I didn't love this gap. I didn't love the break even. It just wasn't too good. But it did end up playing out for a 1-to-1 if you would have taken that. But I was simply just being patient, right? We still had a lot of draws lower, so I was not worried about not getting an entry. So I was just being patient, waiting for my setup, waiting. I know probably a lot of people took this inversion. I did peep this. This was a 5-minute, right? We had a 5-minute gap here, and then we had a 1-minute inverse. But what is wrong with this trade? Okay. The only problem with this trade is that we have an unfilled 15-minute gap right at your stop loss, right above, right? So, sometimes we can be really bearish, right? And we can just respect the first 5-minute in a leg, continue trading lower. But when we haven't rebalanced this 5-minute here, we haven't rebalanced this 5-minute here, and we've dumped through all the majority of this sell side, the majority of these daily lows, I need a bigger retrace than just that. Maybe if it was like we were, taking out the first couple of draws here and we were still within this trading leg, like up here. Yeah, I can see the 5-minute getting respected and then trading lower as an immediate reaction, but I was not expecting an immediate reaction from here whatsoever. It's also like you're still within this chop. You can clearly see we're generating LRL, right? So I wanted to wait for price to generate LRL, right? Have this be the A and the AMD, have manipulation, and then have the distribution. See what I just did there? I did not mean to do that. but that's what just happened. Okay, so that's what I was waiting for. Holy shit, that was cooked. Anyways, we start trading up, right? We have this 15-minute gap right here. Boom. Now we can hit this. Now we can go lower. And now I'm just waiting for my setup, right? And I look from the low to the high that hit the key level, and I'm looking at the highest time frame inversion for value gap. What do we have? We have a 5-minute. So that's the highest time frame in this leg. I'm going to wait for that. Not going to lie. I was so close to clicking the button here on this 3-minute just because of how obvious this draw on liquidity was. Like, guys, look how obvious this is. Like, with 4 hour, the new day opening gap, new week opening gap, this internal trendline liquidity here, the 15-minute gap retrace, like all of this was just so blatantly obvious to me that I was really close to hitting the 3-minute short here and just sending that. But I was like, you know what, whatever. I'll just get worse risk to reward. I know people will be mad at me if I don't take this. I mean, if I take that and don't take the 5-minute. So I waited for the 5-minute close, got the close there. And then bada bing, bada boom. We ended up getting a little rebalance here. Probably could have waited for that, honestly, and taken like, maybe there was a 30-second. No, there was just when we just ended up dumping. Was there like a 15-second? Bro, there was a 15-second at the top too. Where was it? No, I'm going schizo. Okay. But anyways, there was a 15-second here. Like, this was the highest time from this leg. So that was fire. I would never take a 15-second, I'm not going to lie. Anyways, though, this was the trade. Super clean. Went break even here. Took my TP here. And I just hit a nice 1-to-1 RR. I had my stop loss at the body here. Why here? Well, we have a fair rally gap here. I want to see if if we are going to retrace, right? What am I thinking? Okay, I'd probably want to see just price retracing in here and then trade lower. I do not want to see price start trading above the fair value gap and start going above that. At that point, probably going to be an invalid setup. And could we start trading lower after that? Maybe, but like I that's just not price action I would want to be in. Then it would probably be at around 11 o'clock. I just really doubt that would happen, right? So I was just expecting it to go like this and then have like the 1045, 1050 macro do the work. Simple setup. And that's really it. That was really the trade, guys. It was a super clean, obvious continuation. Honestly, like, even if the 5-minute didn't even close here, I would have just still smacked like this 3-minute close. Like, I was just really, honestly, like, it wasn't even about the entry to me, really. I wasn't going to let the entry hinder my trade. And I mean, I would have honestly like gone in on like a limit order on the 5-minute or something if this shit didn't close. Like, I was really looking to just get in this trade, just based on draw and liquidity and based on my experience in the market. Like, I just know that this is such a good setup. And again, not going to let my entry model hinder me from not taking the trade. That's like the main thing. But again, still think that we can go lower here, right? We still have this new day opening gap, this new week opening gap from last week that we still have to go to, right? So still bearish. And I mean, I love this move. I love how we're trading away from all-time highs. I love how we're not just freaking pumping above all-time highs. Like, this makes me happy. So getting a really nice retrace here. Maybe we'll start heading back up after we maybe fill this end dog, or maybe we go back down here. I don't know. There's a lot of price action and a lot of key levels that we still have to go for to the downside. So I'm excited to see how we'll close today. And I'm excited to see what Wednesday will bring, right? So, Thursday will bring. So I'm hyped for that. That being said, guys, that's really going to end it here. Have a good rest of your day. I am going to be dropping a full free course, I think today. I know I said Sunday, but it was such a long video, guys, that I had to go through, a couple revisions, and like I was literally like, it was just a lot of freaking editing. It's going to be around 4 hours long, and it's literally everything that you guys need to know about trading. If you're a complete beginner or even intermediate to advanced, it's good to refreshen on these concepts. And I give you guys like a whole entire trading plan at the end, so you guys can start, understanding where to even start. But yeah, I'm really hyped to drop this, and it's going to be huge, and I can't wait for you guys to see this. But that being said, guys, have a good rest of your day. If you want to start copy trading, you can use TradeSyncer, Coach PB. Link in the description below. I'm copy trading currently some Alpha Futures accounts, some Tradeify accounts, and some Apex accounts. If you guys want discounts on all of those, check out the link in the description below. I believe Apex is running 80% off sale, Tradeify 40%, and I believe Alpha Futures is either 10% right now. I'm pretty sure it's 10% sale. So go check that out. Again, links are in the description for that. And yeah, that's gonna end it here. Let's hit the 10-minute mark. All right, 950, 953, 954. 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 10 minutes.